Hey, 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 beautiful people. It's January 9th, 2013 at 10:59 a.m. It's interesting. It's always interesting. Everything's always interesting. I love to watch and see how the mechanics of this world and the people within work, both spiritually and physically, and in all the various dimensional layers that they're attuned to. It's all about frequency and energy and vibration. Uh, it is very quiet on the earth front at this time, and many persons are speaking about how to best go on with the cleanup of the world and the expose and how we should do it. And I was just reading Wes Annick's writing on that, and enjoy it. Gotta love his work. He is such a pure spirit, and so in his heart, and in such a youngster too. Really an old soul in a young body, and man, he's good. I love his Aquarius channelings. But this morning he has a post that I was reading on Lucas' site, talking about how to continue the world changes. And one of the things that I wish to say in regards to that, he was talking about all the different components that make the engine work in the vehicle drive. And we have every different type of component there is. I mean, in making an internal combustion engine work, you've got water, you've got fuel, water to keep it cool so it doesn't overheat. You've got the various machine parts that function in certain ways that takes that fuel, that raw energy, the higher vibration, and turns it into work. And it all goes together to just spin a drive shaft, and which goes through a transmission, which propels, is the propellant for taking that vehicle forward, for going from point A to point B. And that's exactly what we're doing right now. And we have all different types of persons and all different levels of vibration, each working together, mostly not realizing they work together, but doing certain jobs to make this whole change and shift come about. And there is going to continue to be large exposés, just like the guys at WikiLeaks or Anonymous, or the various hackers getting into all the stuff of the Illuminati and the churches and the banking system, and digging it out and exposing it, because the banking system and the religions are not just going to openly give their secrets up that they've had for so very long, that's kept them in the power, and they're not going to want to have these things exposed. And then you've got bloggers which take that information and get it out to the public and help to wake people and get them going. And then you've got activists going out and physically demonstrating what's going on, and they're doing their part. And then you've got those that are spiritually awake, who are guiding others on their path into the new energies and new reality, and in trying to explain what reality is all about, because reality is not really what we think of it. We are each individually creating our own experience by our thoughts and our emotions, and that which we focus ourselves upon by our perceptions also. And we limit ourselves in that same way, and that's part of what the expansion of the dimensions and the persons that are leading the way into the higher consciousness with that are exposing and showing to the world that it is our perceptions which become our limitations. So remove all perceptions and realize that we can literally do anything. And another friend asked me what avatar abilities are. Avatar abilities are pretty much anything. Anything that you might have seen in one of the old comics of the superheroes and their ability to fly or to heal, or like Jesus, raising the dead, Lazarus, or turning water into wine, or Sai Baba taking, a piece of wood and turning it into a gold and diamond ring, or Joel Cool being able to dematerialize himself and put himself anyplace else. And in so many of the masters and ascended ones do this. So many of the various ET brethren, which we all come from there. We used to do these things, and that is the remembering and putting back together by changing our perceptions and raising our frequencies into the higher levels of light and vibration that allow these things to happen. And that is the various dimensional realms. And the dimensional realms, in a lot of ways, are different layers that are limitations, or confinements, definitions that are related to our perceptions as much as it is our vibrations, and all of it is playing together right now. It is, just so amazing to watch. But the old world will have to continue coming down, and for those of us who are, I guess you could say we're kind of like the fuel, the raw energy for the ascension. We're just holding the highest possible vibrations that we can. We're like the gasoline that's going to go into the internal combustion engine and be exploded to become the power that drives the whole force. And so being the highest octane or highest vibration for those of us that are holding that energy is what we do. It all is a part of it. The awakening is going to continue. By no means is it done, and it won't be done until we've actually changed the whole system and what we have been experiencing during the Piscean age that's built up to now, that part that we're breaking down. And there's going to be huge exposés of what's going on until the powers that be cease and relinquish their control, which will need to happen. There are persons that are jumping up and down talking about gun control because of these Illuminati events, which are indeed staged events, and it is being proven over and over that there are many actors that are participating in these staged events. And these events, although people are indeed getting killed, there are no doubt about it, but truly there's no death, but these staged events are creating emotions in those persons who are still asleep to what's going on. And because they follow the news and the media, they're getting emotionally charged that we've got to get rid of all these guns. Well, I don't disagree with getting rid of weapons. Weapons are used to hurt somebody, but a gun is not necessarily always a weapon. It's a tool. Target shooting's fun. Quick drawing is great. Instinct shooting, oh my God, I love it. And there's a lot of people that wouldn't like me liking it, but I do like it. But I have found over the years that as my vibration increases, that vibrational pattern that is held to that tool but in a thought that makes it a weapon for self-defense or for offense. There's a vibrational level there which really repulses me, although I'm very trained in using them and love to use weapons. Love to use guns. I don't want to call them weapons because that puts it in a certain vibrational context. But anyway, we've got the powers that be that are staging these mass shooting events that happen repetitively, and it seems to be tied into the banking system and the control and LIBOR and so many other different things. It was interesting to see the videos of President Obama holding one of the girls that was killed in the northeastern shootings these past few weeks. Well, she wasn't dead. So, what's the truth of this stuff? And, again, that comes back to each of us doing our various parts, whatever we're guided to, following our hearts into the information that we're given to bring all this to the forefront and see what's actually going on. These people wish to absolutely disarm the public, and I see many of the channelers saying, yeah, we need to disarm because there's bad people around, and it's the guns that do this. Well, just remember what happened in Germany in the 1930s and what kept the people from being able to go against Hitler was they'd had all their weapons so they could defend themselves taken away, and they volunteered this up, and that's what all these events are all about. It's trying to get everyone to voluntarily say that these things are bad and we need to give them up. And this is going to continue. It's going to continue until the Illuminati are removed from power. They still are trying to take over the planet. Some of us who are in 5D and living within our field, in our vibration, are absolutely unaffected by these things. We see it as observers looking out from the higher dimensions and higher vibration, which is our heaven, down in on those persons that are playing those games within on the fourth dimensional level, and then there on the third dimensional level. And again, third dimensional level thinks all these things just happen to you. Fourth dimension realizes that we do it in conjunction, and we come together to focus our energies and intent on that which we wish to manifest. And you've got Team Light and Team Dark. Fifth dimension is pretty much neutralizing the polarities, and we're always going to have polarities in this dimensional universe, because that's how you create vortexes, and that's how you create anything within this universe, by having the two opposite polarities. You create a vortex by having two opposite polarities, just like a battery. A battery or any electromagnetics takes the two opposite polarities. That's the same thing with everything in this universe. But as you expand in dimensions going back higher, more towards source, those polarities become weaker and weaker and weaker. You're losing the magnetics that's keeping the polarization, and that is what expanded dimensional awareness is losing less and less, having less and less polarities, and becoming more and more centered within source, more and more connected to source, less and less of the individual. And so anyway, it's really interesting to see what's going on with all the waking up and seeing this machine that we all are collectively continue spinning, driving us into New Earth. And we all have parts to play here, and we're all part of the one in having this collective experience. And really, it's really, really beautiful to watch, and I am very honored to be playing this theatrical role with all you guys playing y'all's part too. Anyway, I love you all. Bye for now, guys.